Well, hello. It is December the 2nd, 2021. And it's kind of a exciting and frightening day for me today because I am in just a couple of hours scheduled to take delivery on a 2022 Tesla Model 3. Wow. I'm very nervous about that because I'm 73 years old right now. I know I don't, probably don't look it. But I'm at a time in my life when I'm supposed to be kind of getting rid of all my obligations, kind of pulling back on all that sort of thing. But here I am going to be jumping in feet first into a car that most people would probably say, what the heck are you doing that for? And they might be right. I mean, when I've taken chances like this before, it hasn't always turned out very well. But, I'm an optimist. I'm hoping this is going to work out. I've had some good encouragement from my family to do this. And, this right here is the first iPhone. This is 2007. I stood in line at the AT&T store at the Phillipsburg Mall on July 31st. That was my last day of work, by the way, for my life. And I stood in line. My friend Mel stood there with me, held my spot. And we got one of the first iPhones. This was one of the first iPhones in this area. I've always kind of tried to be on the edge of technology. I don't know why. I've always found it kind of fascinating. I'm not particularly good at it. I've tried to keep up as best I could. I know a lot of folks my age haven't kept up at all, so I'm doing better than many. But there's, I look at my granddaughters, Lily and Sophia, and they are way ahead of me. And the upcoming generations are going to be even further ahead. I'm pretty sure that electric cars are going to be the future. This is probably my last car. Now, I know people get upset when I say that, but it may well be my last car. And, I don't want to miss out. So I am on my way to the Lawrenceville Tesla dealership, which is nearly 2 hours away from me. I'll be leaving shortly. And I'm nervous for a number of reasons. Number one, I did take a test drive, but I really don't know how to drive a Tesla. So I'm going to be coming quite a distance in a car that I'm not very familiar with, and a route that is, tends to be pretty congested. So I've been having these nightmares about what's going to happen as I try to wind my way back to my home here in Harmony. But again, I'm going to try to be optimistic and positive, and I'm going to try to take some pictures along the way. And I apologize for the Zoom audio, but this was the easiest and quickest way I could do this. So hopefully, who's ever watching this down the road, you'll be kind and understanding. And I'll talk to you in a little bit. Well, here I am again, and it is now Sunday, December the 5th, 2020. I've had the car for second, third, fourth, fifth. So I got it on Thursday. Today is Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this is the fourth day I've had the car. And I love it. I definitely am very happy with it. But I've got to tell you that every time I take it out, I learn more about the whole thing, because it's not like driving my dad's car anymore, for sure. And it's exciting, but it's also a little, a little scary. Just a couple of things I will tell you. And as I said, every time I get in, I learn a little more, which is good. So eventually I'll learn. I guess I told my daughter, Chelsea, it's almost like learning to drive all over again. It's weird. The first thing I learned, and I learned this even when I took my test drive, is I'm used to, I have a Honda CRV, and I've had that for like 10 years or almost, right? And I'm in that car, I'm used to kind of stepping up into the car. Well, you don't step up into this car. You have to, in fact, I mean, the first time I tried to get into it, I said, geez, this isn't going to work, because I can't even get into the doggone thing. But what I have to do is I have to kind of sit down on the seat and then take my legs and turn them to get into this car, which I think most people would have to do. I mean, it's a kind of a different kind of cockpit, but I'm getting used to that. And the same thing when I get out, I can't just stick my leg out and step up. I've got to kind of, again, pull my legs out one at a time and then stand. So, it was kind of a weird experience, because geez, I know I'm a big guy, but I didn't think it was that big. But that was the first thing. The second thing that you notice right away when you drive a Tesla is the regenerative braking system. Now, Tesla does really not want you to use your brake pedal very often. And they tell you that from the beginning, and the whole car is kind of set up for that, which, I guess I've always been kind of a cautious driver. In fact, everybody makes fun of me because I drive too slowly most of the time. So this was kind of, I tend to overbrake. I always have. They don't want you to brake. So what happens is you're rolling along, and you just kind of take your foot off the accelerator, and that slows the car down and stops it. So you have to kind of judge when you're coming up to a stop sign, when you take the foot off the accelerator to come to and it does come to a complete stop. I mean, you could be on the brink of a hill and you take your foot off that accelerator, you're going to hold there. But it takes some getting used to. And I'm getting more comfortable with that. That was a hard thing. I mean, it's 4 days, and I'm sure I'll get more comfortable with it. And the whole idea is that regenerative braking, I guess, feeds back into the battery to give your battery more life and give your charge more life. Crazy. I don't know how these engineers figured that out, but they did. They also have cruise control, which most cars have cruise control. I've had cars for years, 20 years, 30 years, I don't know how long. Cruise control has been around a long time. Tesla calls this adaptive cruise control, which basically you flip up the stalk on the next to this wheel, and it will either accelerate to the speed limit, which it has red. There are like 9 cameras on a Tesla. So the Tesla knows what your speed limit is, and it posts it right on your display. And you will either, when you turn on cruise control, it will either go to the posted speed limit, or it'll just go to the speed that you are driving at the time. So I'm for now, at least, I want it to go to the speed that I am driving at the time to hold that. The other big difference about cruise control on a Tesla is that because of the cameras, it becomes aware of the surroundings. So if the car ahead of you is slowing down, you will slow down. If it'll be aware of all it'll be aware of the curves. If you get coming up to a big curve, it'll slow to address that curve in the road. Again, it takes some getting used to, but that's not such a big deal. And I'm fine with that. I'm getting used to that, and I'll be okay with that. But the big thing is what they call auto steer. And what that is, when you activate that, it actually keeps you in your lane, without you having to control the steering wheel. That is scary, because I just really started trying to use that today, and I'm not real comfortable with it, and I got a feeling I'm not going to be comfortable with it for a while. I'll have to just try to keep experiencing it and see how it goes. But there's something about losing control of the wheel, and you're going around these curvy country New Jersey country roads, rural. I'm really rural, and you're wondering if it's going to turn. It does, but I most of the time I leave it on for just a few seconds really, and I'll take control. I've got to get used to, and I've always been kind of a mellow kind of guy, but I've got to let go of some control issues here, which it's going to take a while for me to do that. But and I don't have, when you order your Tesla, you can, it comes, your standard Tesla will come with the adaptive cruise control and the auto steer, that what they call, combine, that's called Autopilot. So every Tesla comes with that. If you want to get something they call self-driving, I'm sorry, full self-driving capability, that's an extra $10,000. I didn't get that. But what that will do is, if I wanted to go to, I don't know, if I wanted to go to, I don't know, some restaurant. Let's say I want to go to the Red Wolf is a local restaurant. If I wanted to go to the Red Wolf restaurant, I would just put the Red Wolf into my navigation system and hit full self-driving. And I have to keep my hands on the wheel, but it would basically take me there. I don't have full self-driving, and that's a beta. And a lot of people, it's really not ready for, public yet, but it's going to be there. It's the future. So that's my experience so far. I was a little long-winded here and not very focused sometimes. I'm sorry about that. And I'm looking at the screen instead of looking at the camera. So I'm sorry about that. But I wanted to go on record. I gave you a little video the day that I was going to pick up the car. I wanted to give you a little follow-up. So that's what this is. And that's it. See you soon.